Hello, welcome to another video. Today I will be teaching how to rig your locomotive on the advanced diesel chassis. So, one thing you should start with is having your locomotive model set correctly. One thing I recommend the most is you select the model. Select every part in the model, make sure all collisions are off, make sure the body is completely massless, and make sure the trucks on the model have the same thing done to them. The weight, when you make the body and the trucks massless, it gives the chassis in the locomotive model more even weight because the chassis that you're going to be rigging the thing on already has a set weight block, plus the wheels have a bunch of weight so they can get some friction on the rails. So I've already rigged this thing. It's currently removed off the chassis so I can like demonstrate how to do this. So you make sure you bring your locomotive, make sure it's perfectly aligned, like wheels right here, perfectly aligned, like so. Adjust your couplers if you need to. The chassis comes with some couplers already. These scripts are private. Well, this one, no. These two, yes. And they create a smoke effect for whenever I'm driving the locomotive. So whenever you do this, the quickest way to do this is to group them together, and then you take this, you bring it here, ungroup it, and then now you have. Wait, hang on. Now you have the two truck models. So make sure you find the one that's like this, and you find that one. You put this one here, ungroup it, double check the configs of the weight and collisions. There you go. Uh, you put you do the same for the other one. Double check. There we go. And then make sure all the components for the chassis, such as these, like A handle, bell sound, engine sound, stack, which you probably don't have these, weight, and whistle sound are all invisible. And then one thing you should do with the trucks, which is the highly most recommended thing, is to make the wheels invisible by turning transparency to 1 and doing the same thing for the gliders and the A handle in the trucks. There we go. Oh wait, I didn't do it on the front truck. Alright, there we go. Now your locomotive is rigged. It's not as hard as it seems. The thing about ADC is that you cannot just bring the grouped body into the chassis and just keep it grouped like this. Because if you do that, it won't weld any of the parts to the main A handle, and it will just fall through the map. So what you have to do when you drag or drag it into here is that you have to ungroup it so all the parts are like a part of the chassis. So then it'll be able to weld parts together properly. Do not put any scripts like advanced weld into your locomotive, because if you do that, that will cause it to break and it will not work right. You don't need to worry about any advanced weld scripts because advanced diesel chassis already comes with advanced weld, a custom version for the chassis. So now, if we test the locomotive, it should work completely okay. There we go. Now we have a regular locomotive on advanced diesel chassis. One thing you should do, if you want to do custom lights, like, for example, you want the Mars light to, have a strobe effect because it doesn't come with a natural, it doesn't come with a natural Mars light system. So what you want to do is you duplicate these lights, so there's 3 of them. These ones will be called strobe light 1 and 2. 1, and then just name the other strobe light 2. I recommend putting these in like the body or shrinking them to a small size so they can't be seen outside the model. So then you take this one and you just call it strobe light. And I'll test it to double check if it'll work. Seems it should work. There we go. I know it's like too fast when it flashes, but it's okay, I guess. Though this is specifically used for beacons and strobe lights. So now, if you want to do a headlight, hang on, you want to do a custom directional headlight, like this one will turn on when you go forward, or put the reverser in forward. The back one, which this is a Cal unit body, so doesn't have a back headlight. So whenever you go forward, you have to make sure that they're facing a certain direction. At least 90 to 0 degrees in terms of rotation or orientation. It should work like that, and then you can add a surface light emitting out from the part. I recommend making it the color as the light part itself, like this. Adjust it however you want, like this. So now it should work. What was I gonna do? Yeah, that should work, and you just gotta do something similar to that with the backlight. Let's test. Okay, it's facing the wrong way, but I can easily fix that. There we go. Wait for it to publish. Alright, let's see. There we go. I have a bunch of custom scripts on my Advanced Diesel Chassis version, so these won't come with the base version. I'll link the open source game down below in the description of this video once I upload it. Oh yeah, let's say you want to have, a light that stays on all the time instead of turning off during a direction change. What you want to do is just take whatever light parts you have and name them Omni Light. So whenever you turn on the lights, these lights will stay on. They can't emit light, but they'll stay on whenever the base lights are turned on. Let's see. Get closer. There we go. That is how you do that. Also, I should teach you how the configurations work on here. So, this is bell and whistle configurations. This is for, like, the time of when the bell chime happens, or when it's like a time between each bell chime, like ding ding, or like, you can change the time between when it turns on the bell and turns it on again, or whatever, I don't know. But this is the sound of the actual horn loop audio itself. This is the decay time. So, well, since I have a custom horn system on here, this won't work. But by default, I think it's at 0.3 or 0.4. So it'll have like a more fading out, like an audible fading out effect. Bell chime looped does not work on by default due to Roblox script updates, so this one's pointless. This is for like e-bells, I guess. Whenever you turn on the horn, the bell will automatically turn on, but you can manually turn it off without issue. Engine sound configurations. Um, this is for like this is the brake squealing system. Um, yeah. And then track sounds, which most people don't use the track sound. They usually use it for traction motors. Um, the engine base RPM, the volume for the climbing sounds of the RPM whenever, like, yeah, you can see that there. That's that. Light configurations, these are like, um, you can obviously see this when you get it, but that's for light configurations. This system, do not touch right here. If you put true on ignore input when driven, that means nothing that you hook up to will actually get any input from your lead locomotive. MU is multiple unit operations. By default, this should be turned to false. Do not turn it on. Um, Performance configs, the most important thing with advanced diesel chassis. These are all the configurations I recommend for locomotives right here. These ones will make sure your locomotive is smooth in operation. And yeah, you can copy all this if you want and put it in your own system. Alright. You don't want to mess with anything here besides this or this. I recommend having speedometer scale at 0.5 for accurate results in the speedometer GUI. This right here, you can just change it to whatever name your locomotive model is. So when you hop in the locomotive, the GUI will show what locomotive type you're in with the train name. Sounds for like toggling, this is all custom that I added to my own version, like this and this. That's about it for Advanced Diesel Chassis. I hope you learned something from this, and if you have any questions, try contacting me in comments. That's it for today's video, and I hope you learned something. See ya.